from clarkwoods.com. This is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 119, the last episode before the Trumpocalypse. I am Chris.
And I'm Steve.
Woo!
I don't know if opening yours right now is a good idea.
Okay,
yet.
all right. I'm gonna instead. I will have a bit of this banana bread.
It says right here. It says fruit sediment. Shake hard. Count to 10. Open slowly. Oh, seriously, I don't have headphones on, but
It's that was good. That's really good.
but I'm sure that people that do have headphones on.
I just will say, this is what we call pandering, Steve, because it is good. And I could have just discovered that this banana chocolate chip banana bread, it is good, and I could have just discovered that before the show. But it's pandering because when I compliment Becky's drink making or cooking on the show, we usually get it in like an extra strong endorsement via retweet.
Right. So
I mean, she always offers us support, but when I pay compliments, right up front.
You did a great job with the banana bread, even though I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I'm gonna give another.
Oh God.
So Steve.
Stop it.
So Steve.
Yes.
When I got here today, about half an hour ago, you were playing Lego Marvel Superheroes.
Yes.
And I was very intrigued because
What
I can't
happened?
even do it. Just the sound in my headphones. I'm very sorry. But I gotta finish this bite.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm better now. I was very intrigued because I have tried a number of Marvel video games over the years. I am a big Marvel Comics fan, as longtime listeners will know. But I've never found one that I really liked. I played Contest of Champions, which is like a fighter game.
Fight 'em up.
A fight 'em up, like a Mortal Kombat kind of thing. Except you play one Marvel character over here, and then there's another one over there, and you just beat each other up.
So it was basically like who made this game? Was it 3D?
Well, this is an iOS game. I mean, this is just in the last
That's
couple
why
of years.
that you're playing games on your phone. You're not playing them on a...
I don't have a console that can play anything cool. I have a Wii. As
You could play things on a Wii.
and occasionally I do, but I am much more likely to play a game on my phone, and I don't mind them on my phone.
What about Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter,
No, never played that.
or just the Marvel Superheroes, which was a Capcom fighting game before they started doing the verses.
But the
'Cause
Versus,
they did an X-Men one, and they did a Marvel Superheroes one,
Yeah.
and of course they did Street Fighter 1, 2, 3, 4, etc.
I don't think I played any. I mean, I might have played them at some point in the arcade, but it wasn't something that I sought out. My video gaming has increased in the last 6 years or so since I finally beat a fucking Mario game.
Yay.
when my youngest daughter was born, and I was home with her after getting laid off. And I was home with her a lot, and I would play video games while she slept on my lap because she was a newborn. And I would play the video games, and I got all right at it. And I was like, I'm going to start playing video games. And then, by that point, I had a phone, and I was playing video games on my phone. So, long story short, too late.
What is this, Clue?
I started looking for Marvel games on my phone because that's the one missing piece. I have a letter game that I play. I have a sort of Infinite Runner that I play. I have a Pac-Man game. I have everything. I don't have a Marvel game because they're either overly complicated, or they cost a lot of money. They expect you to put a lot of shit into them. I tried the one I mentioned before. I tried one called Future Fight, which wasn't that great. Too complicated. But then I saw the Lego, and I was like, I like Lego, and I like Marvel, and this looks like Steve's having fun, kinda.
Well, I don't know. I was getting aggravated at fighting. What the hell, Killian, the guy from...
Oh, is that who it was? I was trying to figure out who it was that you were fighting. You were fighting the Mandarin.
Yeah, and Killian.
Oh, Aldrich Killian. You were fighting Drew Pierce, Guy Pierce.
Yeah, Franklin
Pierce.
Yeah. Oh, people in New Hampshire laughed at that one.
There was a Deadpool comic within the last few years where I think Deadpool had to take on all of the dead presidents, like zombie versions of all the dead presidents. I'm pretty sure that was a thing.
Deadpool is very heavily injected into this game.
Oh, yeah?
He's sort of like, well, he does what he does. He basically, explains things to you, or like when you have to go somewhere on the map, because the map is set up like kind of like Grand Theft Auto 3 or any of the Grand Theft Auto games, where like you have a place to, actually no, the more recent Grand Theft Auto games, because if you have a place to go, like you have a map and it'll show you on the map how to get there. So you basically follow your GPS on the map and you go there. But like the same thing happens in the overworld, which is basically New York City. And you're just driving or walking around, and whenever you have like a quest to do, like Deadpool will show up and you have to just follow him to where you need to go.
I think following Deadpool sounds like a really good idea.
Yeah, it's never going to be a bad idea.
It's never gonna turn out bad when you follow Deadpool.
I found some old lady's kitty earlier.
Oh, that's what superheroes used to do back in the day. Mr. Incredible, oh, Mr. Incredible, please.
Mr. Incredible.
You ever seen The Incredibles?
Oh yeah.
And like the opening sequence, he's trying to go after a criminal, and he has to stop to help an old lady get her cat out of the tree, and then the cat won't come out of the tree, and then Chris Explains Movies, your favorite segment of the program.
I forgot that movie. I mean, I liked it.
How did you forget that movie?
No, but I just forgot about it.
It's a great movie. Got Samuel L. Jackson in it before he was Nick Fury.
Before he was Nick Fury.
Well, I mean,
but
he was
after he was in a bunch of Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yeah. But
after he was in Snakes on a Plane.
Oh yes, after all.
Oh, actually no, I think Snakes on a Plane was after.
Oh, that's yeah. It might
I don't know.
have been,
Maybe it was around the fucking same time.
But what's
English,
funny,
motherfucker? Do you speak it?
But there's a line in The Incredibles where I would love, Disney will never release this, but I have to believe that at some point in the recording studio, he actually like inserted a motherfucker into this line from The Incredibles, because he's asking his wife where his supersuit is, and he's like, "Woman, where is my supersuit?" And
you were hoping that during one of the takes,
he said,
it's like, "Woman, where's my motherfucking
woman, where's my motherfucking supersuit?"
Okay.
We're talking about the motherfucking greater good.
Yeah.
Fucking great.
God damn it.
God damn it.
I got snakes on this plane. Actually, there was
there snakes in the
No, there was, because like Nick Fury is played by Sam Jackson. You're on like the shield hover jet thing.
The helicarrier.
Helicarrier, thank you. And one of the little mini side quests you have to do, this guy's like, he's like, "There's a bunch of snakes on the helicarrier, and if we don't fix this, Mr. Fury's gonna be Mr. Furious or something like that, or something." And then you have to kill a bunch of snakes, Lego snakes.
That makes sense. Sorry, I thought I could get this bite done before you were done with your anecdote. I'm just not timing it right.
But Lego games, I mean, I have another one for the Wii U called Lego City Undercover or something like that.
Oh, so just like a Lego branded Lego.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. It's completely like its own entity.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as they go, I think the Lego games are they're funny. I mean, they're not like, "Oh my god, that's the funniest thing I've ever heard," but its level of humor is good for like the age bracket it's probably meant for, and not for like a 30-something-year-old that's playing it.
I don't know. I like kids humor.
Holy shit! What was that?
I don't know.
Something fell in the
It's a
sink.
ghost.
I hope not. So yeah, I mean, there's a good amount of fun humor in these particular games. So this is our video game corner.
I'm just saying.
Steve and Chris's video game corner.
I've been looking for something to fill a void in my life, and I thought
if you could find that on iOS, like,
I'm pretty sure you can. I think that exists.
I wouldn't want to play it on the phone, but your iPad, you might have a better.
Yeah, well, I was saying to you that my mom really likes the Lego Harry Potters. Like, she's played both of those a countless number of times, and yeah. I thought maybe it would work. Yeah, Marvel Contest of Champions I've played, Marvel Future Fight. Spider-Man Unlimited. I've played that. That's not that great.
Infinity. Maximum Spider.
It's weird. The Lego ones don't come up. Oh yeah, Lego Marvel Superheroes Universe in Peril, which I think might be a follow-up. I should put Lego in there. Marvel Lego my Eggo. Did you like Eggo waffles?
Yeah, they're fine.
Yeah.
I mean, they have you gotta get them toasted just right, just so they're kind of like golden brown.
Yeah.
Just so they're nice and crispy, and so when you pour real maple syrup into it, not corn syrup that has been sort of dyed,
labeled,
sort of
dyed golden brown.
Yeah, or no, whatever the hell color, brown. Is it sort of brownish?
It's maple brown.
Maple brown.
Maple
Let's
brown.
just call it maple brown.
We'll call it maple brown.
Yeah, I mean, so you put the real maple syrup in there, which is kind of really a waste.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if you're not, you're putting on an Eggo waffle.
But that was a thing. Lego my Eggo. I mean, not like Lego.
Don't put a Lego in my Eggo.
Yeah, Lego toys and blocks do not belong in
mouths or butts.
In mouths or butts. Well,
Well, you could. I mean, you could make
Steve. Let's not be normative.
You could make a Lego phallus.
You could,
but
and then toss it onto the field like the fans at the Patriots game last week.
Okay, so like if you were to make it, it's still like even if like you had all the pieces like firmly in place.
Yeah.
There is a chance that like some of the side of the Lego phallus that you've made will scrape the side of your anus and or vagina.
Now, if you put a dildo on it, I mean not a dildo. If you put a dildo on it,
condom?
if you put a condom on top of the Lego dildo, and you lubed it up real good, would that help at all?
I think it might help, but that if the same issue with it like tearing your rectum or vaginal walls is that it would tear the condom and then you might get Lego still have the same problem. So if informed shoppers out there, if you're planning on making a Lego dildo, how about this?
First of all, send us pictures.
Sure,
pictures or it didn't happen.
Yes. You don't have to. It doesn't have to be inserted. You can just show
no. Just the sculpture. We don't need to see it in the
Some lady
act.
just like double pointing at her vagina, or some dude like bent over like a piano bench with a fucking Lego dildo shoved in, with like kind of like looking over his shoulder with a thumbs up, going ah.
The things I get started.
But yeah, don't send us that, please. You can send us a picture of your successful creation.
Yeah.
Or you could just go into a website.
Yeah, probably.
And buy one, or go to they still have adult bookstores and whatnot.
Do they?
Yes, they do. It's probably Monly. It's mainly for people going and having an anonymous.
Animas? Anonymous?
Why can't I talk today?
Anonymous
blowjays. But there are actual sex toys in those. Or you could give what's her butt? The lady I used to do comedy for.
Oh yes, I forgot her name. Yes,
Alana Susko.
Yeah.
She does Athena parties, and that'll be a lot less sketchy than going to
an adult bookstore.
Yeah.
That makes me wonder if any of the ones that I know a lot of the ones that I went to in my misspent youth are closed because the combat zone ain't exactly the combat zone anymore.
It's more like a bunch of condos and
an extension of the theater district.
Right.
But I wonder, it's the one in the Tower News down in Lowell. I wonder if that's still.
I think it's still open, so you should go and check it out.
I don't know.
Your days off.
Seems like that might be sketchier.
Go on Tuesday when the world ends.
Oh. Nice segue.
Thank you.
I was gonna segue into whether or not Eggos could be used as dildos, but I think you have hit upon a more interesting topic.
If you wrap the breakfast link with the Eggo,
with the Eggo,
put that inside.
Do you use like a Jimmy Dean, or are you talking about like a what's the other one? Arm & Hammer? No. What's the?
Yes, we want baking soda.
What the fuck is the other one? Johnsonville brat. No.
Oh, yeah, those are larger though.
Those are larger, yeah.
Put a-
Probably better with just your standard like no name brand sausage link imitation sausage.
Like a banquet. We have the banquet ones. But
maybe
we have
that's
the
one of them.
patties though. We don't,
Yeah.
usually don't get links.
I generally went for the patties when I was eating a lot of sausage myself. You know, the Patricks and the patty with a DD.
Great.
Patties.
You can open that now.
I can. All right.
I shook it up like
you shook it up like a Cars song. All right.
You did manage to get some on the plate, but luckily not all over the computer.
Well, that's why my hand was. What?
You got a little bit on there, but I got it.
All right. Let's give this a whirl.
So, the thing that has been the topic on the show for quite some goddamn time.
Maybe
is
not
finally-
the entire run of the show. But
No, well, for the last at least year,
Yeah.
this has come up at least increasingly more and more since about a year ago when
Yes.
when dipshit decided to
Dipshit McFuckface. No, what was the actual name that Jon Stewart gave him? I can't remember. Anyway, yes, since Dipshit McFuckface, let's go with that.
all right. Decided to throw his hat in the ring to become the president, and for some unknown reason, this farce doesn't seem like a farce anymore.
No. I mean, who's been saying it? As I tweeted the other day, I've been saying this from a place of fear for the last year.
Place of fear for the last year.
Place of fear for the last year that President Donald Trump was on the horizon, and at every step of the way, I have been told by our listeners that I am a fucking idiot and it's not going to happen. And now he is within a rounding error, he is very, very close to becoming the president of the United States.
So I'm hoping that maybe the extreme damage this man could cause to our republic
Yeah.
might motivate like younger voters to actually vote.
Maybe.
Because the way they conduct polls, they call people's landlines, don't they? They don't call people's cell
Right.
phones.
Yeah.
And so, what is the average age of a person that owns a landline?
Yeah, no, that's a very, very good point. I think the other thing that's potentially encouraging, if we're starting on the bright side of the situation, is I think it's is it Nevada? I'm going to get Nevada and Arizona mixed up. No, it's Nevada because they've been talking about how Trump's going to need a huge day in whatever county Vegas is in order to win Nevada. In Nevada...
Well, I'm sure he didn't burn anybody in Vegas. Fucking real estate fuckface. They're probably like, this guy's an asshole. Why is anybody voting for him?
Well, so I guess the Latino vote, in terms of early voting, not necessarily, you can't really tell if it's the Latino vote, but the Democrats' early balloting, in terms of the number of Democratic ballots in early voting versus the number of Republican early votes, shows that Clinton is on track to win Nevada, which would be a big win if that holds true. Now, of course, you can't tell who the Democrats that early voted for. You just got to assume.
We're going to have to hope.
We're going to have to hope that they were voting for Clinton, or that at least more of them voted for Clinton than voted for Trump.
Or Jill Stein.
Yeah.
Or Gary Johnson.
Or
Who
Gary
knows?
Johnson. Yeah, who knows? So there's that, there are more encouraging polls out there. I certainly I've been hitting refresh on 538.com way too much, and then I'd go online and I'd see people say 538's polls or system is way too pessimistic. Go check out this thing from Princeton, and of course Princeton is way more optimistic, to the point where I think they might be too optimistic. I mean, they've got her at like 80 or 90% chance last time I checked.
What?
As opposed to
90% chance or 90% like
90% chance of winning.
Okay.
Not of 90% of the vote, but
yeah, I mean,
90%
like-
chance of winning. Whereas 538 has her at like 64% chance of winning, based on their particular model. And it's I've been adding political podcasts to my feed because I need, and mostly Democratic leaning political podcasts to try to talk me off the ledge.
Well, what are you gonna sit there and watch Fox News and like be like?
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I don't even think half the guys on Fox News want Trump to be president either.
No, I got that sense. I forget what I was listening to this week that there actually are sort of two different factions at Fox News. There actually is a faction, and this was conjecture, I think, on someone's part, but there seems to be a faction of people who would like to turn Fox News into an actual news station. And then there's
not just a bunch of like talking heads that
right.
Well,
then
now
there's
that
the Hannity and O'Reilly and like that side of things that wants to keep
like just spewing out whatever whatever the hell they think
right.
they want, whatever the hell they want to say,
yeah.
and claim to be true.
Yeah. So
whether or not it is true is something that is debatable.
Yeah. So I get the sense, there's some and you're right. Is it Ailes that's out?
Yeah, he's
on.
I watched one of the Triumph, the Insult Comedy Dog specials, whatever, and he had Roger Ailes with him, like at the RNC.
Yeah,
and he kept on making I don't know why he kept on making watch out, this guy's gonna molest you or whatever jokes about him while he's there and about these attractive women that he's talking to. And it's just wow, Jesus Christ.
No, it doesn't matter though.
I didn't realize that Insult Comedy Dog had that much pull in the industry.
It is all the Hillary controlled media. That I have to tell you. So I've been having a freak out for the last. It's gotten better over the weekend, but from Wednesday through Thursday, maybe even starting on Tuesday, I was sort of consistently sick to my stomach. Not so sick that I couldn't eat, but just this consistent feeling of just stress induced nausea. And then it came to a head on Friday evening. I was sitting at
last Friday or this past Friday,
just a couple days ago.
So not if it was last Friday, it was going to be when Anthony Weiner's fucking
which we talked about last week. I think
that guy has ruined so much for especially himself, but now he's ruining other people's lives.
Yeah, and so it gets to Friday. And I reshared something on Facebook that one of my gay friends sent out that basically talked about. Hold
on. Gay as in happy or gay as in homosexual?
As in homosexual.
Okay. I'm just trying to clarify because you know.
So one of my
it could be both too.
I think he'll be happier if Hillary wins on Tuesday. So he might be both come Wednesday morning.
Okay.
Or Tuesday at 8:15 if we're lucky. And Florida and a few other states just go.
Yeah, they're not I'm hoping that the swing state, because Hillary's going to get the East Coast.
Yeah, she'll get
at least down to Virginia,
except maybe New Hampshire. I mean that's part
New Hampshire's the fucking wild card.
Trump has been hitting New Hampshire hard over the weekend, and apparently that's where he's going to be on Monday night. He must think that he's. Although I also read something within the last 24 hours that suggests that Trump either fired or isn't paying his pollster anymore because of reasons, and doesn't actually have any idea where he's competitive, and he's just going blindly between 4, 5, 6 different states this weekend. So maybe he doesn't stand a chance in New Hampshire. I don't know, and I don't live there anymore, so I can't help be part of the swing.
So if you guys are listeners out there, and as much as I want to say don't vote if you're going to vote for Trump, I do go out and vote. It's important to be a part of one of the, I've said this several times before, but George Carlin, one of my favorite comedians of all time. One of the things that I disagree with him the most is that he never voted. He said he never voted because he was like, your vote doesn't matter. I'm like, the thing is, if the shuffling masses actually did get out there and vote.
Mm-hmm. The system isn't perfect, but if everybody who thinks that their vote doesn't count got out and voted, then something would happen.
Yeah, I mean, in people that were maybe not conned into voting against their self-interests, if people really the truly downtrodden, the people that are mostly behind Trump right now, why would they vote for somebody that's? I mean, Hillary's. I don't want to say Hillary's just as bad, but she's not that much better in the grand scheme of things. Like Bernie should have like united people. And I've realized that I'm basically a libertarian socialist. So basically, I'm an anarchist. I mean, so like,
is that really what you? I mean, okay, continue. I want to hear your thoughts on this.
No, but like basically, like that's how I'm like people as far as their personal lives. I'm like I want people to do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
And there's always the caveat as long as they're not hurting somebody.
Right. Yeah.
So Jesus Christ, there we go. But
Yeah.
but I don't think that. Maybe socialist. I wish that our democracy was a democracy, A,
Mm-hmm.
and B, like it worked because basically what we have is a society that's basically run by a bunch of corporations.
Yeah, we've got is oligarchy the appropriate term there?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's a term that I've heard thrown about there. I should look up. Continue, and I will try to find out.
And the thing is, I mean, I listened to something recently, a podcast recently, basically saying that the democracy and capitalism are basically two things that kind of. The two puzzle pieces that don't fit together at all.
Don't quite
because fit. Like when in a democracy, the people have the power. Like the citizens of the country have the power to do, to have laws or do whatever or say this is what is going to happen and this is what's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But in capitalism, it's the person with the most money has all the power.
Right.
And so those two ideals. Although, people are like, when you say things that are like against capitalism, it's called anti-American, which makes no goddamn sense because America isn't, we may practice capitalism here, but that's not
the foundation.
That's not the foundation of the republic. We are basically we're going to have people vote for their elected officials, and those elected officials are supposed to guide the interests of the people. But that was lost a long fucking time ago.
Right. Oligarchy is a form of power structure in which power effectively rests with a small number of people. These people might be distinguished by nobility, wealth, family ties, education, or corporate, religious, or military control.
So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, such states are often controlled by a few prominent families who typically pass their influence from one generation to the next, but inheritance is not a necessary condition for application of this term.
So here's what I like. As much as you may think that Trump is a good idea, and this is just me. The Citizens United, the thing that says basically money equals speech.
Right.
That law, oh no, sorry, it wasn't a law. That court decision basically that just said those things. That needs to be overturned, and the only way we can get that done is by getting Hillary elected, because she will get a liberal judge, which will say, fuck that noise.
Right.
And then maybe, just maybe,
Yeah.
the people of the country will have a voice again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, it's the Supreme Court, honestly, that is the number one fear of mine. As somebody who has, and I know I've said this before, I'm probably wrong in some way to be worried about this, but if you've got a Trump in there and you've got a Trump nominating at least one, possibly more Supreme Court judges over the course of the next 4 years.
Oh, come on. He's definitely up for re-election. I'm jerking off 2 fake dicks.
But if you've got him there, the chances of Roe v. Wade, of all sorts of things going to the Supreme Court and being decided by a predominantly conservative court scares the shit out of me. So really, the Supreme Court and the fact that the next president is going to I mean, even if Hillary gets in there, the Republicans have promised that they will not approve anybody that she nominates for 4 fucking years.
So how about this? If that's the case, if they're not going to fucking do their fucking jobs, if I went in and said, I'm not going to do anything for 4 years, pay me still?
Yeah.
Like, fucking, I would get fired immediately. Right. Fire the people that aren't doing their jobs, you fucking assholes. And I'm talking to you, electorate.
So let me. I wonder if I should just bring the whole. So Friday, I mentioned Friday was when it all came to head for me. I want to see if I can find the exact
Not
quote
that
here.
anybody, like everybody that listens, I think pretty much agrees with us.
Yeah, no, I know. We're shouting at the.
We're shouting at people that are like, why are you shouting at us? We fucking agree with you, assholes.
So where is
Well,
it?
you know, there might be one or two people that don't necessarily 100% agree with us, and maybe they'll send us an email and say, I sort of agree with you, but here's where I
differ. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the article that I shared on Friday at like 10 in the morning was
I read that.
Was it?
Oh wait, no, I didn't.
Was Donald Trump pledges to sign anti-LGBTQ First Amendment Defense Act, which religious freedom act. So I shared this. I shared it with the on Facebook. I shared it with the comment, "This fucking asshole might be our next president. I'm sick with worry about this. Been nauseous to one extent or another for 24 hours and counting." And I had people from both sides of the political spectrum that I'm friends with chime in, people saying I know the feeling, other people saying he doesn't stand a chance of getting the 270, to which I showed maps proving otherwise, to people saying just breathe, this is good practice for managing your thoughts and focusing on what you can control. What it really is, so
I mean, we have a platform here. We're reaching dozens of people.
I had a friend who is a very diehard, staunch conservative who wrote, I thought somewhat respectfully, he wrote, I feel the same way about the other major party candidate. Notice he didn't get into it. This was what I thought was good. I feel the same way about the other major party candidate. What is awesome about our country is that everyone is free to their own vote. Also, if it goes against us, there are still the Congress and the Supreme Court to provide balance. So as long as you have done your part and voted, you don't have to stress, I believe in our system. He believes in our system, but it was a very respectful comment, right?
Yes.
As opposed to the next person who said,
Is this on Facebook?
This is on Facebook.
Yeah, this is why I don't go on Facebook.
Who said, I don't believe this at all, is what she said. And then I said, you don't believe what at all? She said, this story, there are lots of slandering stories out there. To which I responded, about who? The slandering, misogynistic, homophobic, womanizing disgrace of a candidate the Republican Party believes is worthy of being president.
And also, it'd be libel if it was...
Right. I then pointed out the article from the New York Times saying the 282 people, places, and things Donald Trump has insulted, to which this person responded, yep, don't believe any of it. Sorry, those are all Hillary-controlled news sources too, so I don't read or trust any of that info. The New York Times.
Oh, yeah.
New York
I understand
Times.
that maybe the people that run the New York Times may have, but the thing is, like, when you go to journalism school, basically you study to try to be as impartial as possible. I mean, that's impossible.
Right.
But like you report what's true, what the facts are. You double check before you print something. That's like what the media used to do before Twitter and fucking Facebook and Fox News just decided to just fucking report on anything and everything that exists, regardless of any sort of integrity to that information.
As a last plea to sanity, I
don't and anybody that's going to call us out for fucking just spewing out crazy shit, we're not journalists. We're two guys sitting in my dining room area yelling into microphones.
As a last plea to sanity, this person, I posted the link to the article from Mother Jones saying Mike Pence signed a law requiring funerals for aborted fetuses, which is a law that is on record. That's not just he signed it, and she still wrote, if that's what you want to believe, but I don't, not any of it. At which point I said, please, I beg you, don't comment on any of these political posts anymore. We've been friends for a long time, but I just can't. And so
I don't think, like, you know, I mean,
this was all.
Don't bring up this person's name.
I'm not going to.
But like, I don't know if I could be friends with that person anymore. Like, I'm good on you, buddy.
I don't know that I can be friends with them either. But the fact that I was able to even give that as the response, And then my kids are sitting across from me because at this point, dance has gotten out for both of them, and they're waiting to go home and have pizza for dinner. And they're like, "Dad, please stop tapping angrily on your phone and drive us home." And just
At least you weren't texting and driving.
I know. I wanted to finish it, and then I got in the car and I was angry, and we drove home and I was angry, and we ate dinner and I was still angry. And Stephanie's like, "Let's go watch a TV show," and we did, and I felt a little.
What are your girls taking from this whole because they're I mean, at least Kaylee is a little bit older.
Yeah.
So she probably is getting some of this. Melody's probably just like
Melody's not aware enough.
But Kaylee is probably aware of like the vitriol from both sides. I imagine. I mean, I hope. Well, I imagine you have been trying to keep it cool.
I've been trying to keep it cool.
Like in discussions with your family and whatnot.
I try not to even bring it up. I leave. I try to make sure that so we usually have dinner around 6:00. I try to make sure that we are not downstairs by the time 6:30 comes around
when the news comes on.
Yeah, and NBC, the national newscast comes on.
Oh, you can't trust them. They're a bunch of liberal fucktards.
But that's the station my parents have watched for years. That's excuse me.
Bum, bum, that's bum, 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 bum. Is that NBC?
Yep.
Okay.
With Lester Holt right now as the no, I was going to say the moderator. No, that's moderator. Meet the Press's
the anchor.
Lester Holt's the anchor, and generally speaking, it's an all right newscast, but I can't watch it with them. My mother's just disgusted with this. I don't know if she's disgusted with both candidates. She's just disgusted with the tenor, with the race, just in general.
I don't think it's ever been this bad.
Yeah, whereas my dad just hates
crooked Hillary.
Well, he doesn't. He started off. He didn't hate Hillary as much as most people. He hates President Obama and believes that Hillary has not done enough to distinguish herself from President Obama. But he doesn't understand that Obama has historically high approval ratings aside from the sort of like circle that he exists in. So why would she want to distinguish herself from a president who has historically high approval ratings?
Yeah, I mean, like when Bush was leaving office, I think it was in the 20s, and I think Obama's in between 50 and 60%.
Yeah,
which is a fucking miracle in this fucking day and age.
Absolutely. So I don't even think he hates her as much. I mean, there's certainly an element of it, but anyway. So what was that? So Kaylee's aware. Kaylee dislikes Donald Trump. I don't know if she gets that from me, from her grandmother, from my wife, Stephanie's kind of like equally just disgusted with the state of things. Although the more I share with her about things Trump has done, the more she asks me, how am I going to vote on Tuesday, which we're trying to still figure out, which we should get to our email.
Yeah.
But Kaylee's aware. I can't tell how much is her just absorbing what I'm saying, what anybody else around her is saying, and how much is her actually responding to things that she's heard. Did I talk about this last week?
I don't know.
Okay. So
I don't know what you're about to say. So I really don't know.
Horribly off topic. I didn't do I stopped with the stupid voice. You didn't choke
on your words, which is great.
Not to get horribly off topic, but Kaylee, one of Kaylee's quote unquote friends, I think it was this past week. They had a disagreement about the fact that Kaylee wasn't invited to this friend's birthday party, which Kaylee was cool with, but was obviously hurt by. But she's kind of laid back about it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know. She said something to this friend who has occasionally been a little mean, calling the friend out on being mean. To which the friend responded with 3 successive texts that Kaylee read out loud to Stephanie and I one night. You suck. You suck. You fucking suck.
Whoa.
This is a 10-year-old, and my 10-year-old reads the word fucking out loud without I mean, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, I just heard my 10-year-old say it without blushing, without like any permission to say. Well, she did ask to make sure Melody was in the other room. She didn't want her younger sister to hear it.
Yeah.
Like she had that presence of mind, but she just flat out blurted it out. And I was this was in the middle of all this other stuff I was angry about in regards to the election. And she says that, and I'm just like, I can't believe 10-year-olds are, I don't know. I know that like I had arguments with my friends when I was 10 years old, and we were pretty mean to each other, but I don't think we were dropping F-bombs. And of course,
yeah, I don't think I swore much until at least middle school.
But so she's the point of me bringing it up is that she's certainly exposed to a lot of the world. I feel like a lot more of the world than I was at 10 years old. I mean, at 10, 11 years old, we were, it was, for me, it was Bush, Bush
me,
Senior and Dukakis. That was the election.
Little tank there.
Yeah, a little tank. I saw a great, I don't know if I can find a link on this, great little documentary about Dukakis and the tank.
How the fuck did he end up as the candidate?
I don't
like, I mean, like, I'll have to watch some sort of like political documentary on it because, like,
yeah,
how the fuck was, I mean, he wasn't a bad guy, but like, there's no way that like that little fucking Greek guy from Massachusetts is going to be the former vice president.
Just I don't know. I mean, who was 84 Mondale?
Oh God.
I don't know. It's just like we had that one moment with Carter, who's turned out to be one of the best post presidents ever. But like we had that
Habitat for Humanity. He's just building houses everywhere, and he's just like a regular, just great guy.
So we had that one moment from 77 to 80, or technically 81 when he left. We had that one moment, and then like he bombed against Reagan. Mondale bombed against Reagan. Dukakis bombs against Bush. And then it's like this big long period, and finally Clinton comes along, good old Bill, and changes things. But
the thing is about the Clintons, I mean, they are pretty much middle of the road. Like,
yeah,
they're not extremely liberal.
No.
Like they're for deregulation. They're for a bunch of shit that the conservatives typically are okay with. Which is why I'm like, why are the conservatives fighting so hard against Hillary? Because they're going to have somebody that is definitely to the right of the current president.
Sure.
And I don't know.
Yeah, she's a woman. I mean, I think that enters into it. I think there's just I don't know, their base in particular, who seem... It's hard to empathize with them. I'm going in tomorrow.
So I want to hear about the end of the story about like you fucking suck.
I mean, so basically she was asking us for advice, and what it came down to is like, look, you can delete her from your message history and just forget about it. And this is the second time for me, as far as I can tell, that I felt like I've had to give her this advice, because when we moved from New Hampshire to Massachusetts last year, she had a friend in New Hampshire that she was who she'd just befriended the last year of school there. A new kid in school who she'd gotten really close with, and she was trying to maintain that friendship, and the other person was not interested, and it started to get bitter as Kaylee tried to get this friend's attention. And I said, Kaylee, you just got to let it go. And she didn't necessarily listen to me.
Didn't you watch Frozen?
Oh, God. And so this time around, I said to her, look, Kaylee, you got to let it go. If you guys become friends again at some point, awesome. But right now, I think you got to delete the messages, not stare at them, not let her be a part of your life, and just move on with it. So right then and there, she deleted the messages, removed the person from her contacts. I said, you can block them, but if you block them, then there's really, like, you're not going to get anything from her in the future if you guys decide
to reconcile. But the thing is, like, there's so many, like, I mean, imagine she has a bunch of good friends or whatever.
She's struggling. I mean, she hasn't found the right people to hang out with.
Okay, well, she's got a couple, right?
A couple, yeah.
She's just, hang out with those couple good people and then fuck the rest of them.
Yeah.
Don't tell her that.
Yeah, no.
But yeah, I mean that's basically what happens. Like you have like usually a very tight group of friends, and then
Right.
eventually you figure out who you are in life.
Yeah.
And then you sort of branch out from there. And she's still young; she doesn't know who she is. And I'm giving advice to you to give to your daughter. It makes no fucking
No,
I
but
mean,
it does make sense. I mean, you try to. It's hard. It's easy to say that though, and that's been the hard thing. It's also easy to say. I feel like to get us a little bit back on track or tie this in. It's easy to say, let's all be friends on Wednesday morning after whatever happens.
I'm worried there's going to be fucking riots.
I am terrified there's going to be riots. I mean, I think there are people out there in the country arming up. There's apparently Trump exited his rally last night maybe because he was afraid of a guy with a anti-Trump sign who then got kicked out. And there was somebody there shouted gun. And they got him. Anyway, I'm afraid of there actually being, if Hillary wins, I'm afraid of there actually being the potential for violence wherever she's giving her speech. I mean, I remember in 2008 when I stayed up to watch Obama give his acceptance speech. I remember looking around that whole plaza and just, I was tense the entire time. I was like, I hope there's not somebody with a gun, because they're so angry that there's a black president. And this time around, a woman president, but not just a woman president, but a woman president that they find to be corrupt and
crooked.
Tell me more. You're afraid of rioting. I'm sorry.
The thing is, like, all right. The thing is, as far as like Trump, like sort of encouraging his voter base to go to the polls to make sure that the voting is going off like legally and all that shit. That I think, I forget what the hell the law is. I don't know if it's in every state, but I think there's a law that says you can't fucking do that,
right?
Because that's basically you're basically you're intimidating voters, and I think it was called like the anti-KKK law, basically.
Yes.
So
I think so.
This is me speaking out of my ass from something
there
I read
is
on the internet. So, like, take it with a grain of salt. Do your own fucking research.
Had something on that this week about that anti-KKK law still being part of it is still on the books. So yeah.
Good. Like, fucking, you don't go and intimidate people at fucking polling places. For Christ's sakes, let people vote.
Well, and there's been movement on this. There, I forget what state it is. Maybe North Carolina. There was an injunction, or I'm getting the terms.
Injunction. What's your function?
I'm getting the
try to make it so
wrong.
People can vote and not feel like threatened by crazy right wing racists that are trying to kill people because of their views that are different than theirs.
They so there's courts
trying to do.
there's courts trying to step in. I think in North Carolina, but then you've got, in terms of the other side of things. I think it was I was reading this to Stephanie this morning. The head of the RNC in Nevada getting on stage at a Trump rally within the last 24 hours and getting upset about certain people being the read that as Latino people being the reason that polls stayed open late in early voting in Nevada, and asking the crowd, do you feel free now? Because certain people were the cause of.
Here's the thing: if you are like in line to vote, before quote voting ends, they have to let you vote.
Does it work the same way with early voting?
I don't know.
Maybe that's his objection. I don't know, but those certain people might very well be the reason that he loses, because the Latino vote in Nevada seems to be, as far as I've been able to hear, seems to be the reason that Hillary may win Nevada, and it may very well be the reason that if she wins Florida, that she would win Florida.
Well, the thing is, like,
and I get the sense if she wins Nevada and Florida, it's game over. I don't think he's got a path if she wins both.
I think or as far as the way the United States is, like, the Caucasian majority, I think that is only going to last for another 25 years, I think, before like things start evening out. Right. And guess what? It's going to fucking happen eventually. You might as well just say, hey, let's do it now. Let's pull the Band-Aid off. Let's have a fully our society that like welcomes everybody and fucking like just
yes.
And the thing is, like, the immigration thing, like, the amount of people that are coming into the country has remained flat since the President Obama has been president.
Yeah.
So we basically have the same amount of people coming and leaving.
Yeah.
Like, immigrants as opposed to people leaving the country.
It may go up when, not even because of his policies. It may just go up because they're like, fuck this noise. I'm out of here.
Yeah. So, but the thing is, like, we don't have a problem with immigration.
No.
It's a false fucking problem. It's like, well, let's build a wall. For what? There are people coming across the border, but there are like the equal amount of people that are leaving. Like, why the fuck do you...
Did you see that? There's a video that was out this week that showed it was basically using like Google Maps or Flyover or whatever to show the length of the border. And it's ridiculous. It's like a 7-minute... maybe I'll link it if I can find it, but it's like 7 minutes long, and it's like something to have on in the background just to realize, nope, they're still going over the goddamn border. There's no way you're going to build a fucking wall along this entire...
Yeah, I doubt that there's any way that anybody in Mexico could to get their hands on any sort of explosives to blow a giant hole in a fucking wall. Are you going to constantly be repairing this wall? Jesus fucking Christ.
We'll create jobs, Steve.
Yeah, like what? Just at the border, like
I don't know.
It's not going to benefit any of the corporations because they can't use any of the cheap undocumented labor.
We got an email. We got like less than 10 minutes, and I want to make sure that we get to this email because I don't know about you, Steve. I still have not voted.
I haven't either. I am going to do it on Tuesday.
I will vote on Tuesday.
I thought about doing it on Thursday because it was the only day that early voting went late.
Okay, right.
So like until 7, I think, and I got back to the area at around 5.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could just walk over right now. No, I'm just gonna do it on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I've already told my boss I'm gonna come in a little bit late. So
Brian wrote us about our now he says your and I think seems like he's referring to in his first version of this email, which he then sent a correction to, he said hi guys as opposed to hi Chris. So he's lumping you in with me here, and I don't think you had the fears of early voting. I had the fears of early voting. You just kind of...
I sort of just said... I was actually planning on voting on the election day anyways, but like... But I don't think that well, let's just read the email before I comment on it.
Yeah. So anyway, I just wanted to say that because it's really my fears. So here's Brian. Hi guys, your fears of early voting are completely off base. Because early voting often happens on weekends, it is easier for people that can't get out of work to vote. It is an essential part of getting minority and those in poverty more opportunities to cast their vote. In fact, the biggest opponents of early voting are those select individuals that want to suppress minority votes. So if anything, it is a liberal conspiracy to make sure eligible voters have the opportunity. Keep up the good work, Brian.
So, I don't think I ever expressed that it was a bad thing.
No.
You expressed that you were worried that it might be overturned because it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was your issue. It wasn't the fact that it exists was your issue.
Yeah. No. And I tried to say this, and I think it probably came across. And Brian's just right in correcting and adding context to this. My fear is a completely unfounded paranoid fear that I'm going to vote and they're just going to stuff my ballot into a box and shove it into a closet somewhere.
As if you never did.
As if I never did it. And I recognize that is completely paranoid and dumb. But if we have President Trump on Wednesday morning, I will. Well,
we just have to hope that we can hold on to our jobs for as long as possible, and see. I've been watching a lot of these House Hunter shows because I'm being a good boyfriend and letting. Well, not letting, but we watch a lot of stuff that I like. Occasionally watch something that Becky wants to watch, and then a good portion. Well, I don't want to say all of the day, but a good portion of yesterday. We were watching a lot of House Hunter shows, and these a lot of them are searching for homes in Canada, which the home prices are fucking ridiculous up there.
And in terms of like low,
especially in
high.
high.
Oh, high. Okay.
Well, everything is slightly more expensive in Canada.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't know. That might be completely wrong.
I don't know.
But
find
I
out on
said it.
Wednesday.
Let's see. Yeah, see what the real estate market is. Well, we could just move up to Nova Scotia in a
I
trailer.
got some peoples that I got some ancestors from Nova Scotia.
Yeah, we'll go move to a trailer park up there.
Yeah.
With Julian and what are the other guys from Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah, why not? Nova Scotia, nothing bad there. They speak the English in Nova Scotia.
But they speak the English in everywhere in Canada.
Quebec.
Quebec, they do, but
All right.
I think it's
I
about.
thought it was frowned upon in Quebec.
No, like it's basically there's the Francophiles and the Anglophiles on either side of the coin. I mean, typically the like most people in the city are at least a little bit bilingual.
Yeah, the Francophiles, the heads of the tails on that side of the coin.
Meow meow.
Knee slapper. That was hilarious, Chris. All right. Well, so you want to make? I mean, it's a little late to make an endorsement here. This late in the race, but
I'm endorsing Theo Epstein.
Fuck yes, we can talk about that. Let's finish with that. Holy shit.
Let's finish with something fun and
Something
good.
fun and good. Except that the fact that they won 5:30. I said this last week. 5:38 before the Cubs started their turnaround said that the Cubs stand about as much of a chance of winning the World Series as Donald Trump stands of winning.
Fuck.
See. So it's let's get that out of the way. That scares the shit out of me. But the fucking Cubbies, man.
Yeah, but they did it 1 year late. Like they were
did do it
supposed to
1
do
year.
it last year, as according to Back to the Future 2.
Yes. Yeah.
But like we talked about last year when it happened, it was physically impossible for that to happen because they couldn't play Miami.
Yeah. But they could have won. I mean, they could have won something.
I feel, who I feel is like, just like, when the Red Sox won in 2004, Bill Buckner finally got let off the hook.
Yeah. Yep.
And said, so like, but the thing is, you can't just blame it all on Bill Buckner.
No.
Bill Buckner had no business being in that game at that moment because he was hurt.
Yeah.
The coach at the time decided, well, I want him to be able to be on the field when we win. So he put him at first base instead of the person that was playing first base for the entire game.
Right.
And because of that,
we lost.
We know what happened.
We lost.
And it went behind the bag, and the Mets win. So that happens.
Yeah.
And then, but there was I forget what the name of the guy that was was it 03, 04? 05, sometime around the time that the Sox won.
Yeah.
There was a dude in the stands that caught the ball.
Right.
And it was ruled, I don't know if it bounced up into the stands or if it was something that if the player had caught it, it would have been an out. But since the fan caught it, it was a double.
Yeah. That guy was redeemed.
Yes, because I think he had to move out of Chicago and change his numbers and everything and just get the fuck out of there because of the constant harassment by fans.
Did they invite that guy to the parade?
I think they did, but he had no desire to go. The dude was just which is I got to respect that somebody in this day and age doesn't give a shit about being famous.
Yeah.
And even though the reason why he's sort of famous is because he basically I don't know, in the heat of the moment, you're at the fucking at a playoff game for the Cubs, and you reach out and you want to get the ball. That's fucking exciting. I got a game ball. This is fucking great. You can't fucking judge somebody because of that. No. Because if anybody that was sitting in that seat at that time would have probably done the goddamn same
Absolutely.
thing.
It's instinct. It's trying to run away from the bear or the cub.
But this guy will finally maybe be able to live a normal life without people harassing him and telling him he's the worst thing since sliced bread. Wait, sliced bread is good. The best thing since sliced bread.
Did you watch the game?
I watched most of it.
Okay. Yeah.
But I was getting nuts at a certain point with it because when they tied it up, when the Indians tied it up 6-6, I was just like, fuck. It was already getting so late. I'm like, fuck this. I turned it off, and then but it was still so amped up that I couldn't sleep, but I didn't want to watch it. So it was just but then I woke up the next morning and I looked at Twitter and fucking.
That's how I see. I didn't watch it.
I watched most of that game. It was the most of a baseball game that I watched the entire year. And I feel bad because I did not watch any of the Red Sox in the playoffs.
The way I tend, especially with the debate, with most of the debates, and the way that I've relived news events has been through Twitter and just scrolling through. Usually, I'll check to see what the results were of a ball game or what the media thought, and then I'll scroll through Twitter just to see, because I already know how it's going to turn out. But it's fun to see how people were freaking out at the moment. And I watched and saw the whole game develop, and I didn't get that emotional. I knew I was going to be happy for the Cubbies, but when the moment that I got a little misty eyed was I saw fucking Bill Murray, a picture of Bill Murray, and I think it was when he was in the locker room getting champagne poured on him, and I was like, it's Bill Murray. He got his team won. I don't know. I care about people. There's a theory out there that when it comes to sports, there are story people and there are stats people, and I'm a story person.
You'd rather. Well, the thing is, that's great. I mean, one of my favorite. Speaking of locker room champagne being sprayed.
Yeah.
I remember, I think it was back in 2003 when we lost to the Yankees.
Yeah.
There was the locker room celebration for the Yankees. And I remember somebody photoshopping one of the champagne bottles spraying on Derek Jeter or whatever.
Yeah.
It was Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter. They photoshopped a penis spraying, what looked to be jizz on him instead, which was hilarious. And I appreciate that. Thank you, Photoshop assholes.
I've heard Derek Jeter's a nice guy.
I hear he gives a gift basket to the ladies he sleeps with.
Okay. All right. Well, that's I can't argue with that. I heard from a former boss of mine who grew up in the same area as Jeter that in terms of hometown, everyone loves Jeter. That he's a
yeah, but that doesn't him being a ladies' man doesn't necessarily make him a bad person.
No. But leaving a gift basket for the. I mean, I don't know what's in the gift basket.
I don't know. I think he got
Lego dildo?
good. I don't know if it's a Lego dildo. It might be a nice watch.
Bringing it back.
A nice watch, some cologne or perfume or whatever. I think he got like when you go to an award show. I think he would give him that kind of gift bag. It wasn't like a 10-year-old's birthday party. Here's some Pixy sticks and a fucking whistle ring.
You can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/119. And if you have anything to say about all the things we got wrong during this week's extended political coverage,
I'm hoping that we don't have to do this. Hopefully we're not doom and gloom. Actually, yeah, I'm hoping we're not doom and gloom next week.
No, I hope not.
Just being what do we do?
Yeah.
We should just pool our money together and start our own country, maybe. I don't know.
Send the email to hot@clarkwoods.com if you have any comments. Or you can find us on Twitter. I am at ECC1977.
And I am at OPTC Spam69, as well as at Tuesday is Loser. That's Tuesday IS Loser, all one word.
Is it how do you feel? Is it? Are we?
I'm sort of just maybe it's the calm before the storm.
Where we are. Matt Damon. No. What's the
Matt Damon?
Marky Mark. We're Marky Mark and George Clooney, and we're smiling. We're smiling. We see the sun, and the thing is there a big fucking wave a big orange wave about to? Are
you talking about the perfect storm?
Maybe.
Okay. I don't know. Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch coming straight at you in 2016. Hopefully, he'll be the next presidential candidate because apparently all you have to do is be a media darling or a media fuckface, like our current candidate.
Get some good vibrations.
Can we call this episode media fuckface?
No.
Oh, darn.